Hello and welcome to today's Facecast. It's a lovely sunny day out there. I'm sure we're going to enjoy life whether we be in lockdown or not. This morning we are in 2 Chronicles in the Old Testament, the second letter of the Chronicles, the record of events of the time of the Jewish people, the Israelites, when they were in exile. They were in exile because they had ceased living by the book of the law. The first 5 books of the Bible, the law of Moses, is what they had been given and told to follow by God and say, this is how you should live. Well, because they were people that they gave up living those ways. They slid away from it, backslid, we might say, from living by the law, and so they ended up in exile, and they were trying to get back from exile, back to a place where they were living according to God's ways. Now, it's amazing how often we can pick up the word of God and it relates exactly to the days in which we're living, because we are living in a time of exile, are we not? We've been exiled from society and told to live in our own homes, our own spaces, especially if we're of a certain age or if we're unwell. We are to be isolated from everybody else, at least physically. We have the blessing of being able to connect with people by Zoom or by WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever it might be. But the Israelites were isolated and excluded from the land in which they should live. And so there needs to be a coming back. And King Solomon is the king at the time, and he's trying his very best to arrange and organize his people to get them to a point where they are ready to return to Israel. And in 2 Chronicles, in chapter 7, we come across a verse where Solomon has been speaking, talking to God, praying, and the Lord answers him. And in the midst of this answer, there's a verse which is, for many people, a favourite verse, a very familiar verse. And it's 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. And it says this: if my people, who are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive them and forgive their sin and will heal their land. If my people, who are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. It's a wonderful promise from God to the Israelites through Solomon that he is with them, but he needs them to turn away from the things that they've done wrong and to turn to him, and he will bring healing to them. We could do with a bit of that, couldn't we? We need personally to turn away from the things we may have done wrong and to turn to him and ask his forgiveness, and he will restore us. He will bring us back. We as a people, maybe in this country, maybe around the world, need to turn away from some of the ways that we live and some of the things that we do in order to be the people he requires us to be. If we do that, he will hear us and he will bring healing to us. He will unite us. And he will be present in our midst, giving us this new life in him. The life that we always should be leading. Life free from disasters such as coronavirus or any other kind of disaster that may come along. Not only will those things not happen so much, but when they do happen, we will have a way to deal with them and cope with them because we will be trusting in God our Father to help us and lead us. So this very old word from the Old Testament is as relevant today as it's always been. It's as relevant to us as individuals and to us as a society. If we listen to what God is saying, and if we hear what he's saying to us, and if we turn away from those things which are wrong and turn back to him, then he will heal us. He will be with us. He will walk with us. But we've got to do something first. We've got to turn. We've got to turn to him and seek his face. That's the call for us today. Perhaps you can find a way today of turning away from and turning back to him. Have a good day. See you soon.